Hey everybody, this is Vril. Welcome back to Extended Timeline World War II. It is now November of the year 2050, and in the last episode we had a war between Estonia and Finland. Estonia was allied with the Soviet Union, so Estonia was able to steamroll over Finland, taking all of Finland here except for this island here in the Baltic Sea. So that is the only province that Finland still holds on to. Now, the Japanese had a war against the Netherlands once again. The Japanese are now allied with the New Zealand, so New Zealand was able to capture a couple provinces here in Indonesia from the Netherlands, and the Japanese captured a couple of islands. So in the last several episodes, we had quite a few wars against Peru, and Peru was kind of on the defensive from Brazil and Argentina that lost those wars. Now, Venezuela tried to take advantage of that. The Peruvians were very low on manpower. They still had decent-sized armies, and they had these 3-star generals, and that turned the tide against Venezuela just with their 2-star generals, and Peru was able to take over almost all of Venezuela except for these couple provinces, couple islands in the Caribbean, including Jamaica here. So Peruvians are doing well once again if they can just build up their manpower. Looking at the armies of the world, we have the US, the Chinese, Soviet Union, Germany, and Italy. I will note that the Iranians are very low on manpower. That is one of the wars that's going on. I'll go over that in a moment. And I will also notice we have some just kind of new nations in here, like Norway has a very large army, Canada has a very large army, Turkey looks like they're preparing to do something, and look at Kenya's very large army as well. I mean, the Mexicans also have quite a large army. I mean, not compared to our like top 2 or 3 armies, but they're still quite large for their regions of the world. Looking at the wars that are going on, we have the Second American-Dutch Imperialist War. This is obviously more than the second, but maybe the Second Imperialist War. The Americans against the Netherlands, and I will note that the Netherlands are now allied with the Italians, and they were allied with the Vietnamese before. We have an Iranian change of government in Oman. The Omanis are allied with the French, and we have a Nigerian-Guinea imperialist war, Nigeria, with Sudan, Mauritania against Guinea, Ghana, and Cameroon. So let's go ahead, and I'll move over to Oman and Iran to get this thing started. And we'll see what the Iranians can end up doing against the... they might be moving... Looks like they're going to move through British India here, probably into French Indochina, so they can actually siege something down. The French really up against it. Obviously, they've been broken apart in previous episodes into different French nations. And Spain is like taking some of their land as well. So let's just watch kind of what's going on. We do have this American-Dutch war. We've got some Dutch noble rebels that have risen up here in Borneo. We've got... Americans have arrived in Indonesia here. No military leader. Guess they're in Thailand as well. Military access going through there. So I would assume that the Americans are going to be able to take even more of the Netherlands areas, the Dutch areas of Indonesia here. They've got some massive fleets. So let's see if the Iranians did move into this French province in India, and I'm going to guess that they're going to continue on, assuming they have military access through Thailand, into French Indochina. Maybe not. Again, we do have... Looks like there's a lot of occupation going on here. So Sudan has occupied parts of Cameroon. Looking at... So this is the Nigerian... Okay, that must have just... No, Nigeria, not Niger. Against Guinea here. So Guinea, very small, might not be lasting very long. Actually, 2 different Guineas here. Not 2 different ones, but they're separated. So keeping that in mind while we look at this. Got a little battle there. Looks like it was won by Nigeria. I would think that war score is probably, yeah, it's up to 54 for the Nigerians. I would assume that Sudan's probably going to be able to take some territory as well here, if they can. Not sure, maybe Mauritania could as well take some territory from Ghana here. Would be good for them. Let's have a look back in Iran, see if what's going on. What are the Iranians doing? Yeah, so they do not look like they have any military access into French Indochina, so that's not an option for them. Not really sure what their option is. I wouldn't really want to take my large stacks if I was the Iranians onto my fleets, because I would guess that the French still have a decent navy. It'd probably kill off a lot of their units. So we now have that American-Dutch war just ended. We have a Turkish-Greek imperialist war. We'll look at that in a moment. I'm just going to quickly look over here and can't tell quite what the Americans took. They might have just pieced out on that one because they didn't have... did a white peace possibly, because I don't think they had a very high war score. And Cameroon looks like they've lost some territory. So yeah, Sudan's taken some territory. And Niger... Was it Nigeria that was in that war? Oh yeah, it was Nigeria. So they took some territory from Cameroon as well. It looks like the Mauritania got some land as well. So here we go. We've got the Turkish-Greek imperialist war. We've got the Turks allied with the Egyptians, with the Germans finally here in this war. So very good for them against the Greeks, Romania, Italy, Italian Somaliland, and Saudi Arabia. So war score is not going very well, but let's see what happens here. The Germans being on the Turks. The Germans and the Turks have been allied for a very, very long time in this episode, but every time the Turks did declare wars against Greece, the Germans did not come to help. So seeing if there's... Okay, we've got a Portuguese... a Barodon war. That's got to be in India, but I just want to keep we've got the Iranian Omani war, and we've got the Turkish-Greek war that I just want to keep an eye on what happens with them. So the Turks do have a pretty large army, but it does look like they possibly lost a battle already. No, we do have maybe they lost a battle because we've got units kind of coming back together, but they do have a pretty good stack here. They're fighting the Romanians here. It does look like the Romanians with their 3-star general are going to be able to beat them back, though. So this is actually interesting. I thought that the Romanians were allied with the Germans, but obviously the Germans are warring now with the Romanians. The Germans might not be in the best shape for this war. Our war score is not so hot. We've got some Romanian particularist rebels that have risen up. I mean, the Italian army, surprisingly... Actually, they don't have as good of leaders as they used to. For the longest time, maybe here we go, we've got a 3-star. I was going to say, for the longest time, they had a bunch of 3-star generals. I'm seeing more 2-star generals than they used to see. Do have a good battle here between the Germans and the Italians. 3-star general versus 2-star general. I'd imagine do have a crossing penalty or terrain penalty for the Germans, so see what happens there. Bulgaria is not in this war, right? Yeah, they are not in this war. It's Romania. See a big battle here between the Germans and the Italians. Got more particularists rising up for the Romanians here, so that's not very good for them and will help the Turks. So we've got 250k Germans armies have shown up to this battle in northern Italy here, right off of Venice here. Very nice. So yeah, the Germans won that battle as I thought they would. Let's have a look at our war score. Still not going that well because the Italians are blockading quite a few Turkish ports here. So we'll see if the Germans can occupy parts of Italy. I don't think that's really happened all that much in the series, where Italy's been very, very strong, surprisingly, in this World War II series, but they've been very strong, so they haven't been occupied all that many times. But it looks like this time they're going to have areas sieged down. We'll see. Maybe the Germans will capture some areas in northern Italy. We'll see what happens, though. Who knows? The Turks maybe will just grab like one province. They did at one point capture some of these Greek islands, and then they had several wars where they got pushed back and lost those islands once again. So it looks like the Iranians had to get out of this war. Yeah, so unfortunate for them. They did, I think they expanded here slightly. Yeah, that's what that's showing us here. So they did expand a little bit, and they even took over parts of Syria here, so interesting. The Iranians on the move. And I'm not sure, but I don't know when that happened, but they looked like they took over parts of Afghanistan. Probably a quick war that I missed at some point. Several episodes ago, it looks like, though, since they've cored all of that up. So the Italians... Okay, they look like they're 3-star general versus 3-star general. The Germans obviously just lost that battle. We've got a Italian pretender rebels also showing up. So I did think that there was a larger Italian army here in... it's Bulgarians. In Greece, but I don't see it anymore. So either they retreated back to the Italian peninsula, or the Turks actually beat them, but I'm suspecting it was more like they retreated back. So I wouldn't expect the Turkish army to be able to beat them down. But the Turks are occupying parts of Greece now. Got the Germans are fighting off some of those Italian were they pretenders in particular? Something like pretender rebels. Now we've got a Danish Cameroonian. So I did notice this. We had another one of these coalition wars. Denmark, Iceland, Hungary, Croatia, Albania, Bulgaria, and Norway against Cameroon. This is the second time, and Cameroon and Mali. This is the second time that we've actually had this punitive war against Cameroon. So Croatia had declared it last time, and I thought it was going pretty well, but it ended. And I do think that there was a nation or two that popped out of it, but apparently it wasn't the full punitive war that they wanted, as those coalitions still existed for that. So yeah, it looks like we still have a very large 3-star 150k Italian stack there, so that's a pretty stout army that we've got there that the Germans are going to have some issues with unless they can coordinate something. I think that the Germans might be... I'm going to look at our armies. So we've got Germans completely out of manpower, so that's not good. The Italians also completely out of manpower, though, so actually the Germans do outnumber them. See, the Turks out of manpower as well, so keeping an eye on that. Let me just switch back over to this just to look at our armies. So this war score is in the negative. Yeah, the Egyptians are on the side of the Turks here, so they're occupying parts of... Obviously, the Italians had taken part of Egypt here. Saudi Arabians are also on the side of the Greeks. So let's look at... Okay, we've got a 50k Saudi Arabian stack there. Looks like they're not doing anything. Okay, we've got 300k Germans fighting I think that was the 150k stack that the Italians had, and the Germans obviously won that by superior firepower. I'm just surprised that the war score... Okay, it has gone positive, finally. Looks like... Do we have... Yeah, Romania did piece out of this one. Did they... Yeah, I'm not seeing that they lost any territory or anything like that, so... Surprised by that they wouldn't maybe get a couple provinces. Okay, we've got some communist revolutionaries rising up in Romania as well. I feel like that the Soviets are possibly using some... funding some rebels in some of these countries, because we had some communist revolutionaries in Germany a couple episodes back. Not sure why the Turks have their army... They might be going to face... Yeah, they're going to face the Saudi Arabians here. Saudis. So the Germans taking out the Italians. See if there's anything else. Nope, there's still this Turkish-Greek war. It's the main thing going on. Actually, let's quickly look. Did those guys piece out of that? This Cameroon? Let me just check one thing. So that coalitions are completely gone now. So I don't know why they declared that. I don't really see anything. Who else was in that war? Was it Mali? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, let's focus on this Turkish-Greek war. So yeah, Turkish army moving over to eastern Turkey to face off with the Saudis there. They needed to siege out all of the land here that the Greeks hold, though, so that... Because the Greeks are rebuilding their armies here. Really hard to tell what's going on between the Germans here, just because the Germans have... Since their manpower is shot, they are rebuilding. They probably have mercenaries is what all these are, I'm guessing. And they're just scattered around. Not very smart. I'm surprised the Iranians are allowing the Saudis to have military access. Another battle between the Germans and the Italians there. Looks like the Saudis decided to retreat. Yeah, because the Egyptians have moved into Saudi Arabia, so 50k. The Saudis do have that 3-star general. That's pretty good for them. Should be able to take out that Egyptian. I don't see the Egyptians with a 3-star general. So yeah, whoa, we've got some major Italian particularists that have risen up. I would say that the Italians are going to have to piece out of this war if they can. The particularists are taking out the the Germans there. Wow. That is a big explosion of rebels there. Egyptians sieging out in Saudi Arabia, like we were saying. Did the Saudis... Looks like they probably just pieced out in this war, so yeah, they are no longer part of this one. So just the Greeks and the Italians, Italian Somaliland included. Did the Egyptians, did they have that? No, they did not. They already had that province in Saudi Arabia. So, unfortunately for the Germans, this particularists are going to kick them out of Italy there. It's not very good for them. Okay, we've got a few more wars going on. We have a Botswanan, Zambian imperialist war, Botswana, with Australia, Angola, Kenya, against Zambia, Ghana, British Somaliland, Sudan, New Zealand, and Nigeria. Now we have an Argentina, Venezuelan, Mexican, Peruvian war. Peru's been allied with the Dominican Republic for a while, and we've got a Bulgarian, Croatian, Polish conquest of Hungary. Hungary's like one province, so look at this war score is going very well for the Turks here. It does look like we're out of time for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and please consider hitting the like button if you did, as it really helps out the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.